Have you ever felt that cold shiver in your stomach when you look to your side and realize there's no one there to catch you anymore? Imagine waking up on an ordinary day, a day that started just like any other, and discovering that the person who promised to be by your side until the very end decided to simply walk away. He didn't just leave, he took every penny from the bank account, every dream we whispered at night, and every bit of security I thought we had. He left us with nothing, no money, no roof, and worst of all, he left us without hope. I found myself standing in the middle of a living room that was about to be taken from us because the rent wouldn't be paid. I looked at my son playing with his toys on the rug, and my heart shattered. Could you stay calm in a situation like that? Could you look at your child and tell them everything will be fine when you have no idea where your next meal will come from? I remember the deafening silence that filled the house after the door slammed for the last time. It was a silence that screamed. I didn't have a brilliant career to fall back on. I had no inheritance waiting for me, and to be honest, I had never even held a heavy tool in my life. I was just a mother who believed in a lie. The only thing I truly owned was a small piece of land, miles away from the city, full of weeds, thick brush, and heavy stones. It was a gift from my father years ago, and everyone in the family used to joke that the place was useless, just a pile of rocks where nothing could grow. But when you have nowhere else to go, and the world is closing its doors on you, any patch of ground feels like a kingdom. It was right there, in that empty, quiet house, crying in secret so my son wouldn't see the terror in my eyes, that I made the craziest decision of my life. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to stay defeated. I was going to build our own house with my own hands, using the very stones that everyone else despised. Before I show you the first shovel hitting the ground and how I started this impossible journey, I have a small request. If you've ever had to start over from scratch, or if you know what it's like to fight for your family, please leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support is the only reason I can share this story today, and it helps other women realize they are not alone. Have you ever had to sell the things you loved most just to put food on the table? To buy my first bags of cement, a basic shovel, and a rusty wheelbarrow, I had to let go of everything. I sold my car, my wedding ring, and even the furniture we managed to keep. Every time a piece of my old life left the house, it felt like a part of me was being ripped away. But I kept focused on that pile of rocks. The fear was constant, a heavy weight in my chest. I asked myself every single night, am I crazy? What if the walls fall on us? What if I'm just wasting the last bit of money we have on a dream that will fail? My arms shook so hard from the initial clearing of the land that I could barely hold a spoon to feed my son in the evenings. But then I would look at him, sleeping peacefully in our temporary tent, unaware of how close we were to the edge, and my resolve would harden. I needed to give us a roof, not a rented one, not a borrowed one, but a permanent one. The process of building with stone is not what you see in the movies. There is no upbeat music that makes the walls grow in 5 minutes. It is slow, it is backbreaking, and it is incredibly lonely. Each stone had to be chosen by hand. I had to learn which ones were flat enough to stack and which ones would provide the strength for the corners. I carried rocks that weighed almost as much as I did, dragging them across the uneven dirt until my legs felt like lead. My hands, which used to be soft, became a map of scars and raw skin. During those first few weeks, the blisters would burst and the lime in the cement would burn into the open wounds. There were days when the pain was so bad, I just sat on a pile of dirt and sobbed. I wanted to give up. I wanted to call him and beg him to come back. But then I remembered the way he left, and I realized that no amount of physical pain could ever compare to the pain of being abandoned. Have you ever felt a physical ache so deep that it actually helped numb the hole in your heart? The people in the nearest town started to talk. I could see them pointing when I went to buy supplies. I heard the whispers at the local store. "She's lost her mind," they would say. A woman alone can't build a house out of rock. It'll collapse with the first heavy wind. They called me irresponsible for having a child out there in the mud. Those words were sharper than any stone I carried. They stung more than the cold rain. But I learned a very important lesson during those months. Silence and hard work are the best answers to judgment. I took all that anger, all that resentment, and I channeled it into my sledgehammer. Every time someone doubted me, I swung harder. Every time I felt like I couldn't carry another load of sand, I thought of their faces, and I found the strength to move too. I discovered that when you are at the very bottom of the pit, you are standing on the very foundation you need to build your way out. Do you know what it's like to be woken up at 3 a.m. by a thunderstorm when you don't have a roof yet? I do. I remember the nights when the clouds would break and the water would pour down on our unfinished walls. I would scramble to cover our few belongings and my sleeping son with old plastic tarps, holding them down with my own body weight while the wind tried to tear them away. I would sit there in the dark, soaked to the bone and shivering, watching the lightning illuminate the skeleton of the house. In those moments, the loneliness wasn't just a feeling, it was a physical presence. I asked the darkness why this happened to us. Why was I the one left to do this? But the darkness doesn't answer. Only the sun does when it rises. And every morning, no matter how bad the storm was, I would stand up, dry my face, and start mixing mortar again. You have to be your own hero, because in the real world, no one is coming to save you. As the months passed, the pile of rocks transformed. It was like watching a miracle happen in slow motion. I learned how to use a plumb line to make sure the walls were straight. I learned how to mix the perfect ratio of sand and cement so the stones would bond forever. I didn't have a manual or a construction crew. I had a burning necessity and an instinct that grew sharper every day. The mockery from the neighbors started to turn into a quiet, stunned respect. They stopped laughing and started stopping their trucks just to watch for a minute. They saw a house rising from the earth, solid and unshakable. This house wasn't just a place to sleep anymore. It was my voice. It was my proof to the world and to him that he might have taken our money, but he couldn't take my power. The day I finally put the last tile on the roof, the world seemed to go quiet. I walked into the main room, and for the first time, it didn't smell like a construction site. It smelled like home. The walls were thick and cool, the stones fitted together like a giant, beautiful puzzle. We didn't have expensive furniture or fancy decorations. We had a floor I had leveled with my own sweat and walls I had raised with my own blood. I watched my son run through the rooms, his laughter echoing off the stone, and I felt a peace so profound it brought me to my knees. I looked at my hands, thick with calluses, scarred and stained, and I realized they were the most beautiful thing about me. I wasn't a victim anymore. I was a builder. Building this castle taught me that we never truly know how much we can carry until we have no choice but to pick it up. If you are sitting there right now feeling like your life is over, like you've been left with nothing, I want you to look around. Look at the stones in your life, the hardships, the rejections, the pain. They aren't there to bury you. They are the materials for your new foundation. I started with zero knowledge and a broken heart, and today I have a fortress that no one can ever take away from me. If I could do this, alone and from nothing, what is stopping you from picking up your first stone today? If this journey touched you, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see the next phase where I finish the interior. And tell me in the comments, what is the castle you are trying to build in your life right now?